I'm just going to keep this conversation more like a deep thought section that can help us to reflect on what we're doing with our content and how we can move forward our business. Before I start, I want to ask a question. If you have a question that pops up on your mind and you need an answer, what's the first thing you will do? We can put it in the comment section, or you can unmute and answer. What will be the first thing you will do? For instance, you have one question on your mind, research. Thank you, Deepika. Practically do some sort of search or ask someone. Practically, when we go on this search, because we need the answer, we automatically become an audience for someone else. The answer pops up because someone else made it available for us. In the customer life cycle, one of the customer life cycle that people really use now is that, just as we know it, the need arises, we do a search, we make a purchase, we have an experience, we can advocate for the person because we love the experience we had. We then have a bond and can even make a purchase again. However, before the buying stage, that stage of search, that deep thought, that evaluating is where a lot of our ideal clients find themselves when they have that question on their minds. My question to you is, if your ideal client puts in a search, are you going to pop up amongst the people that their content pops up? Let me give you an instance. Last year, we all know, many of us that were here last year, most of the training sessions that we have, I always talked about content that converts, how to create content that converts. I became so intentional about it that every time I create my content, I either use it in my hashtag, I talk about it, it's just somewhere around what I'm creating. Early this year, I was in a marketing event, and for some reason, I had this prompt inside of me to search to be sure that I'm in the search intent using Facebook now. I took up my Facebook account, went into the search or the explorer, and I wrote content that converts. To my shock, I saw lots of my content under that search. I was excited, yes. But then an inner voice asked me, is your ideal client searching for content that converts? Normally, when you search on Facebook, it gives you a rundown of all people, pages, posts, reels, ads. Under all, I saw my content mixed with sponsored ads. Under people, nothing at all. Under group, I couldn't find myself. On the reels, I could see myself. But that deep thought of what is she searching for? What's the word she would put into Google when she makes the search? And content that converts is actually the last thing she needs right now. I want us to write down, think about it. It doesn't have to be a very serious, structured word. Just that simple word that she thinks about or she talks about when she reaches out to you. What's that one word or what's that phrase that she would use when she goes on a search? What's that phrase that she would use when she goes on a search? And if she searches for you, will you be in that intent? Thanks to social media, it's made it so easy for us to be found. The algorithms on all social media platforms has made it so easy for us to be found. If someone talks about something, let me not use someone now. If you have a conversation with someone or you consume a specific content, consumed it, you went into probably a group or you had a conversation with someone, there's something that happens to us. We start seeing similar content like I've talked about before. We start seeing same thing popping up. The way it's happening for you, that's the same way it's happening for your ideal client. Because the algorithm or the platforms are making it easier for you to feel more relaxed on their platform. They don't want you to leave the platform. We need to help us get found intentionally by using her words when we are creating her content, by searching for what she's intentionally seeking for, so that these platforms will give us to her as answers. Another thing that I want us to look into is our insight. So we know if we are intentionally creating for her. Yes, we do lifestyle content. I know of, at least I've heard of some influencers who have hundreds of thousands of followers, and then probably companies meet them and they want to like sell, they want to promote a product, and all of a sudden their audience is not readily available to buy from them. That's because they have not been they've not positioned themselves intentionally. They just have the numbers, they don't have the people that are ready to buy from them. They are not known for something that can help them even earn. Now let's go back to our Facebook and see how we are positioned. And you can use your phone to check what's happening. Thanks to Facebook Insights, we can see what we are doing. If you go on your Facebook dashboard and check your insights, there's a place that's called source of traffic. I want us to understand how our content is being seen, the traffic for that content, how people seeing our content. If you can go on any of your posts and check the insights and see what's going on there. Sometimes it tells you that people saw it, people who saw your post are from probably your friends and followers. That's one. The next one could be suggested for. Another one could be search. Then you have others. Others could be maybe you shared it into a group and then they found it. How have people been seeing your content? Several times when I check mine, I always get to see friends and followers. Then I have search and suggested for. When it comes to search, it means that someone or these people in question that your content was fed to based on search have probably gone out, or rather has done a search on this particular thing that you are talking about. And that's why your content was fed to her via search. She has done a search. It doesn't have to be on Facebook that she did the search. As long as she has done a search on it, your content will be positioned to her. Another one that pops up when it says suggested for is it's possible she has consumed something similar to your content. What if the insights are not available? What does that mean? Sometimes when it's not available, sorry, I have to quickly switch. When your insight is not available, sometimes it's because the algorithm hasn't picked enough information on the people that has viewed your content, and maybe it's a small audience that's viewed your content, and that's why. Most of the time, it takes maybe 24 hours before it updates. But if it doesn't update, that means not enough people have consumed that content. And that's why it's not giving you enough insight on that specific content. Yeah, I was talking about suggested for, right? Most people that your content is suggested for is because they probably have a friend or someone they are following that does something similar to you, or they are interested in what you are doing and they have people that they engage with just similar to what you do. And so Facebook suggests your content for them. These are the way we can be intentional. When you understand the word that she's using, not techie words, not the words just the way it sounds good to you, your words are not her words. It's not the kind of word you use that you will use in her content or in her search. We have to understand what she's using and then sprinkle it. You can sprinkle it in your bio. You can sprinkle it in your group name. So if you have a group name, like for instance, the Rise to Success group, that's a name. However, You can put a slash and then add a bit of the key phrase or keywords that she's searching for. Just put a touch in it. You can sprinkle it in your hashtags when using when you're creating a content. You can sprinkle it in the content, right? And also, when you make a post that has to do maybe an image or a video, you can use it as a test screen. Just sprinkle it. The thing we are interested in is that we want to be found. We want to be positioned for her. We don't want a situation that we are not found. While we're having our conversations, while we're doing our content, while we're going into the groups to have conversations, to bring them in, doing the other things, we just need all these other parts to be optimized so that when someone does a search, we can pop up for her too. Thank you, Marisa. That's actually what my talk today is about. I just want us to really think about it and to be optimized, thinking about what she has on her mind, thinking about what she's searching for, because that's the customer life circle. She first does a search before she makes a decision. And if we don't pop up when the search is done, then she's going to buy from someone else. Then she's going to relate with someone else. Go on, Marisa. I just saw that.
No, just when you were talking about all of this, the first thing that popped up in my head was to create an Excel sheet or a Microsoft Word sheet and just have keywords on it. And then just keep adding keywords through conversations, through when we go in external groups and see our potential clients' posts and things like that, to just get a keyword list going, and then we can always go back to it. And like you said, I don't know, that my mind blown with how how much this can, like how much potential this has. Like you were saying, our the titles that we use, our bio, our statements, our content, and we can go back to those keywords and keep adding to them. It's like the options we have are endless if we just find those keywords and use them, like you said, sprinkle them in everything that we do. Thank you so much. It's definitely a game changer.
At
I
all.
have
Thank you, Anita. Go on, please.
I found in my niche, the ladies really like to they really connect and they really reach out when they'll read a post. It could be a post, they could be have been following me, or it could be the first time, and what they express is so heartfelt. And what I done and tried to go back to is I have this page. I created it in Word or Pages, what, and I call it comments as content. And I take what they're saying and I'll just pluck it out of their response on a post and I'll put it in comments as content. That way, because sometimes words mean different in different contexts. Sometimes I'll take a sentence or a paragraph or something and I'll use that to create a post because I've struck something with someone and they might not be my friend. They might have just sort of scanned through Facebook, and because I work with expats. So they might have just said, oh, so she has expat on her page. Let's check her out. And they could go by a lot and it doesn't hit them. And then one does, and then they'll write a paragraph. I take that, and because honestly, all of us are getting busier and busier, and we're having more contacts, and memory management doesn't work. I've tried. So the comments as content not only keeps me aware of what they're thinking and what they need, but it also keeps my mind on how I want to express to them so they can continue to find me.
It reminds me of a session we did last year when we talked about keywords and key phrases. And we asked questions that were asked was, where can we find the words they are using? Like you said, in comment sessions, in conversations we're having with them, using AI to also search for it. And if you have, some days ago, I came across a post that had my ideal clients in it. So I reached out to the author of the post. But however, in that comment session, I had questions because they're asking questions too. All we need to do is to create answers. We use our content to give them answers. We always want to make it really structured. But they're not looking for the structure. They just need the answer. They don't want to know if you have a long story sometimes. They just need their answer. And that's what they are going on the search for. We have to be intentional in creating our answers. In fact, we have become their media. We have become their media.
I kind of do have a question. Usually when I'm posting content, right, at the bottom of a short post or a long post, if I'm trying to create a CTA, there's the question that I'm asking. And I'm just wondering, is that always the best place to put it? Because sometimes I think, even if it's not very long, I think sometimes, just in my own experience, that they don't read to the bottom. And like you said, we're answering their questions, but in our if you will, our structure of our post, we're also asking them questions. They come in to participate. Is always at the end of a post or a story the best place to put the question?
It depends on the format of your posts. For instance, some people start a conversation with a question. So the question could be the question your ideal client has popped into Google. And then I come across that same question. And I'm like, what's this person talking about? I just did a search on this. Let me see if she's thinking like me, because she can relate to it. It depends. Anywhere, the question can pop up anywhere. The word she's using can pop up anywhere. It's not a one-way thing. It's just a sprinkle that we can use. Let's not forget to use her words. Use her words. We need to help ourselves to be found. We need to check our insights, because our insights tell us how people are finding us, how Facebook is positioning us to be found. All to just optimize ourselves so that we can be found. That's the whole.
I was going to come in and actually ask to everyone, do you guys think of the words and want to put in the chats of your ideal person? One thing, Obia, that I wanted to add was these words that your people are thinking of are probably not pleasure words. They're probably pain words, because your person will want to walk away from pain instead of walk towards pleasure. So when they're plugging in these words or looking, they're probably looking for I'm so stressed. I'm just so tired. What are those words? And they're not pleasure words, right? It's the pain, right? So for example, with me, I need clients. If you look at my own, everywhere, the sprinkles in my banner, I help female coaches with clients. In my bio, I help and there's that word clients. It's OBS, it's everywhere. That one word is sprinkled everywhere. So what's that 1, 2, 3 words that your person is consistently thinking about? that pain? Because if they're coming online, they're searching for something, and they're searching to solve the problem.
And another thing is, when we keep using it, it becomes not just evergreen, but we stay among the people that rank on top when the content is being positioned for the ideal client. So I wanted to share something while we're all sharing this. I was in a conversation with a lady, a lead, and she's like, "Can you help me just look at my flyer and see if what I'm doing is correct?" So she's a postpartum depression coach, and she's trying to run a challenge, and she says, "The New Mom's Companion 5-day healing challenge from survival to supported." Why this 5-day challenge works: day 1, emotional release; day 2, understanding; day 3, cognitive shifts; day 4, nervous system regulation; day 5, community commitment. And then I'm like, if your ideal client searches for the words that's inside of her, will she find you with this? Or if she reads this, will she find herself on this poster? So we decided to review it, and this was what came up. See the difference. Feeling lost after baby, a 5-day self-care and recovery journey for new moms. And then day one turns into letting it out, a safe space to share the real part of motherhood and release the pressure. Day two, rediscovering you, understanding why you feel lost and how to find yourself again. The words are very simple. Day three, taming the mom guilt, shifting your mindset from I am not doing enough to I am enough. Day four, finding your calm. Simple tools to lower your stress and stop feeling on the edge all the time. And then day five, because everyone needs a community, your new village, connecting with other moms so you never have to feel alone again. Just using these simple words for her helps her see herself in your posts, helps her see herself. I think I did this. This is what's happening to me. Why this works, immediate recognition. When a mom sees feeling lost, she thinks that's exactly how I feel. As simple as that. Crystal says, I'm coming up on a search for overwhelm, but not some of the words I think my clients would be searching for. I guess I need to make some changes to my messaging. Exactly. That happened to me when I was using content that converts. It feels so good that we can be found. It feels so good that we can be found, but we have to keep doing it and not get tired of it so that the algorithm can keep helping us get found, can keep suggesting our content to our ideal clients. And when we're creating intentionally because we want someone to come in and ask us, how can you help me?
This is what I'm talking about, ladies, in this space, that we're not at that level anymore of we're going to create some content, right? We're at the next level now. This is the way the higher end coach thinks, is we're not just at the point of getting into the habit of content, because in the beginning that's what it was. We were just getting into the habit of being consistent and sharing content. Now we want to refine our content that works for us. And then you're going to see by using these words, the resistance is less because the people that come to you are already your people. Those chats, like what Anita was saying, I just say one thing and they open up because they're already your people. You're already speaking their language. And so it's really a hello, couple of words, and then they're like filling the DMs because they already know you and they feel like what they feel is that you understand them. They feel seen and heard. And so it's the resistance isn't there anymore. The resistance isn't there. Maybe this 1/4 inch turn, this little bit of refining and using some more of the common words are going to have a huge effect. What we're doing in the space is little 1/4 inch turns, yet very impactful without doing more in hours. The Facebook's going to do.
One last thing, thinking, because now we're thinking like a marketer. I want to give you I've used this for some of us that I've had a session with before, but I want you to see it again from another point of view. When I was little, my mom used napkins. They washed it, and they always get to hang it. But while growing up, the people who came up with Pampers became very intentional. I want us to take a look at how they market Pampers. They know that with the napkin, a baby gets wet when they're sleeping at night, and this doesn't make mom sleep soundly throughout the night. So when they want to create the ads, what they emphasize on is that even when baby sleeps, the layer is still dry, and then you have a peaceful night, mom and baby. That's what she needs, and that's why she will buy Pampers. Always think about the need of your ideal client and use that to sell the information. You're now becoming a marketer. So we have to think like them to position ourselves to for our ideal clients. Let this one land in. Thank you so much, everyone.